Hi, this is Marguerite sharing a vintage junk journal that I've just recently completed. I used a printable journal kit from Ephemera's Vintage Garden called Gentlemen and Scholars. These are some of the tags that come along with the journal kit. I used this collection because I have a lot of vintage ephemera that I want to start using more and more in my junk journals. And this one goes along pretty well with a lot of pieces that I already have. So I thought that it would be a good match. So the cover I made myself, and I will spread it out so you can see it a little more clearly. I sewed in 3 signatures with a cross stitch, and maybe I should have used a darker thread because it gets a little bit lost in the background of the board, but it came out okay. With the covers, I have a little sample here to put out to show you how I do the covers. So you have a front and a back and a spine like this. This is what I do. I cut out the size that I want. Then I choose the papers that I want on the covers. So here's just an example. If I take this as a front and I put this on the spine and then I put something else on the back, I use a piece of Tyvek, which is this material that is made from plastic and it's very durable. It doesn't tear if you try and tear it. If you snip it with scissors and then tear it, it will tear. But if you just pull it like this, it won't tear. So I always put a piece of Tyvek in between my pieces when I glue them, before I glue them down, before I glue the cover on. So what I'll do is I'll put double-sided tape here and here, or actually I put the double-sided tape here and here, and then tape that down, and then put these on. So I do that for all 3 pieces, and obviously they're cut down to the correct size. And then once that's done, I put a layer of tissue paper, and I do that with matte medium and a brush. So I'll just brush on the medium and then very gently put the tissue paper on. Just white, plain white tissue paper. After that, then I start getting inks, and then I will use however much ink, or sometimes even acrylic paint around the outsides. Here I used a little bit of gelato pastels also for some coloring of the green coloring, so on and so forth. There's some purple over here. So I just ink it up, and when I'm done, when I feel like it looks the way I want it to do, then I stop. And that is that. So those are the covers. On the inside, I've done the same thing on the inside, front and back. And I had stamps. These are pages from an album, an old album, and I had some stamps and also some missing. So I just kind of put stamps in, and they don't really correspond correctly, but you know, it just looked. I wanted it to look a certain way, so that's what I did. I have three signatures put in there, and then I'll just flip through here. This comes with the kit, and then I have postcards that are from my pieces, vintage pieces that I put in. I put also some pieces of book pages, and then I made collages with my pieces of vintage ephemera that I had as well. I did a little bit of rubber stamping, and then I used a lot of postage stamps in this one as well. This comes from a dictionary. A little bit of washi tape. Here I did a small little collage of postage stamps from France on behind some old newspaper. These are just pulled out of a map, or what do you call it, small atlas, city atlas, and then some more stamps of France. This was from a do-it-yourself book from the 1930s, and it had some really neat illustrations. This is just a rubber stamp, and then I have some of my postcards. I scanned and then printed out. And with these, I left open so that I could leave them as a journaling spot if I wanted. Here's another postcard with some stamps from Italy. This was something that I printed out. I scanned it or copied it on a copy machine and then printed it out. And this is the middle of the signature, so I have my stitches in here that I wanted to cover up. So this was a large piece of paper, and then so I just folded it in half and taped it shut so that you don't see any of the stitching. This is just from a calendar. It's a calendar with pictures of France, Paris, and I just tore out one of the pages and did a little matting on the side and then put some more stamps from France. This is a fold-out map that I wanted to put in here of New York, big one. Also a vintage from 1910, I believe, and then did a little bit of collaging down here. Another book page. This has got a little pocket here with some pieces, a book page and a small little card. And then I taped down a postcard, old postcard from 1910, also from 1910. Here's another little pocket, and inside here is a small life insurance card and another piece of postcard, cover of a book, book page. I have a lot of space in between my signatures, and that's fine. I usually put so much stuff in the book that the book will close perfectly, or a little bit under even, because if it's too full, it gets an alligator mouth, and I don't really care for that. So I like to leave a lot of space in between those signatures. Another book page from Latin studies. Here's something else that I scanned. This is an envelope from a bunch of envelopes that I bought at a used book sale. A lot of the ephemera that I have comes from used book sales. Sometimes I get things online, but for the most part, I buy them around town where I am. There's all kinds of sales throughout the year. Here's an old photograph, and this is just put on a book page. And with the way I do it is that I have maybe 20, at least about 20 books, 20 big pieces of old books that I buy and then I use again and again and again. I like this one because it has a lot of handwritten notes in it. I'm thinking that it might have been used for school studies. This is, I think, works of Byron. And I already used the cover, so I kept the insides. And I use it for a lot of projects, a lot of projects. So it's good if you have, you know, a small collection of old books that you use, and then you can just have them on hand and use them for all kinds of projects. So that's what this is back here. Here are some more postcards and letters, envelopes. Again, more of that Byron poetry. Or Brown. You know, it's not Byron, it's Browning, works of Browning. This is an advertisement from a small pamphlet that I found at a used book sale. There's another envelope. There's a postcard again. A rubber stamp that I just stamped there. This comes with the kit. This is just another page of stamp collecting. Now I put an envelope in the middle. This is the center of the signature. The envelope was open all the way, and then once the signature was sewn in, then I closed it and put double-sided tape on this side to close it. This is something really neat. Someone by the name of Sandra, let me see, what is her last name? Sandra Gonçalves Raposo from Portugal sent me this. It's not exactly this one because I made this one, but the idea is just fabulous, and I really like it. It is an envelope that is folded to make it look like it's a wallet. And what she had done was she had sewn it in her sewing machine with a seam right through the middle. But I wanted to keep it open so that I could actually put a bill like a wallet. So I have money in here, and I have a photo, and then I made this ATC, I don't know, about 6 months ago, and held on to it. And it has a photograph here, so I thought that would be really neat to put it in the window of this envelope. So that is a really cool idea, thanks to Sandra. And this is a calling card, an old calling card that I had and just glued it right in, so it's now part of the wallet. So that goes in here. This one is not from the kit, but it is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden, so I believe it's from one of her freebie pieces. You can find those. Here's another pocket, just with more scans, more stamps, more receipts, and an old check. Treasurer's Office, 1907 and 1908. This is from a book, old book. This is from the kit, and this is from the kit also. And this is something else that I scanned from a pamphlet that I found at a used book sale. I have a whole bunch of newspaper from March 31st, 1916, and it is so fragile, it just falls apart. So I take chunks and I glued them in So there's pages on and off that I have pieces of this newspaper. And then here's the last signature. This, I did this dyeing myself, and I put it outside in the backyard and forgot about it. And the next morning when I went out, I guess the snails got it, and they ate some holes in the paper, which is actually pretty nice. So I kept it that way and thought it kind of added some character. Here's some more of that page from that album, stamp album, and it has a few stamps in it. Here's just couple more envelopes, another book page in Greek, and then also a playing card. More things, more pages, map, another envelope. This comes in the kit. Here's the center of the signature, so I did the same thing again. I had a page and then I put double-sided tape and closed it. So now it's in the middle here. This is just a bag with more letters in it. This is a die cut. Some really cool stamps from Canada. Another postcard. This one I glued down, so it's part of the background, and then that just kind of stays in there. This one it has some writing on the back, so I wanted to leave that open. This one's from the kit. This is from the Mabel's Diary kit, and I just had an extra, so I used it in here, and it's another receipt, so I like that. Oops, and I forgot that I need to write something in there. Byron's poems is just a page from an old book, and then I have another letter from Salzburg. And this is the back, and this is the back of the book. So that is it. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond.